let's discuss common techniques for handling secrets in Python using some simple code samples. The getPass module and its getPass member function are excellent for interactive programs. It ships with Python, so no pip installations are needed. It prompts the user for a password but doesn't mirror the text. My script is quite insecure as I'm just printing out the password for illustrative purposes, but you can use the secret variable for authentication later in your code. Running the program, we see the password prompt followed by the program's output. getPass returns a string and reveals the fancy DevOps password I typed. Another common method is using environment variables. We used this technique in the WebEx Teams API demo earlier in the course, but it works well for any kind of secret. We can import the OS library, meaning operating system, which also comes standard with Python. Using the os.environ dictionary, we can access the secret environment variable. Then, we can insecurely print it out just for testing. In order for this to work, we must define an environment variable named secret, which is specific to a given shell process. It won't be checked into version control or be accessible by other users on the system. Then, we run the program and observe the output, which is the same as the previous slide. Another approach is to use the Python keyring package, which must be installed via pip. This interacts with the system's built-in key management system, and on Mac OS, this is the keychain application. You can create passwords in one of two ways. You can write a one-time script, as I'm showing here, to create a new keyring entry named DevOps test for user KR test with our funky DevOps password. You could also build it manually using your OS, and in this case, I'm showing a screenshot of my keychain where this password exists. My laptop is a MacBook running Mojave as an example. Here's how we can consume this keyring entry. We can use keyring.getPassword and specify the keyring entry name and username. Then we can print out the secret along with the type. When we execute the program, we see the same output as the previous examples. I'll include these short samples in the course files for reference. There are countless ways to solve this problem, but I'll briefly touch on a few more. You could also store your secrets in a plain text file, perhaps JSON or YAML formatted, then restrict it to read only for the owner. No other users will be able to read it. Just be careful not to accidentally add it into a version control system. You could also encrypt that text file, commonly called a vault. This file can be added to a version control system, which is great when there are many secrets to be stored. Individual workstations will use plain text passphrases to open the vault. You don't have to build vault logic from scratch. HashiCorp Vault, Ansible Vault, and many other products can assist with the protection of secrets.